disheartening that in this world, young girls, their life could be devalued. But what does it mean when a group of extremist, militant men can think that they can just go and grab a couple of hundred girls and that the world will say nothing?
That's right.
Well, we are here, we are a testament that on the other side of the world, we will not let that go. And thanks to our president, Barack Obama, putting a little pressure, we want this global issue to be addressed, and we want our girls to be returned, because every young girl is someone's sister and someone's daughter, and it is unbelievable that we can let this happen to another young girl.
Last week, President Obama gave a speech at the Shoah Foundation, which is the group that Steven Spielberg founded to commemorate, to document the Holocaust. And he referred in very strong terms to the kidnapping in Nigeria, saying that it reminds us that we have yet to extinguish man's darkest instincts. That unfortunately it is men, always it seems, who commit brutal acts like this. And I have to note that it was women leaders in the United States, like women in the U.S. Senate, like Michelle Obama, like the Women's Caucus of the City Council and Public Advocate Tish James, who have galvanized public opinion here, who've mobilized this movement to bring back our girls. The president made the powerful point that the brutality, the sectarian violence, the atrocities we're witnessing in Nigeria and in countries around the world clearly echoes the most brutal acts of the middle of last century. And that's a fact that resonates deeply for all Jews everywhere. Unfortunately, this is very much a 21st century problem, though, in Nigeria. And as much as we grieve for the scale of 200 children kidnapped in Nigeria, this is a problem which is widespread across the world. There are 1 million children a year who are victims of human trafficking, and there are tens of millions of girls around the world who are forbidden from attending school because of their gender. And we care about every one of those children, every one of those girls. They're all precious to us, and we need to do everything in our power to support them, to save them, to keep them safe. That's especially true of the girls in Nigeria. And we call on the United States government to use every resource at its disposal, to mobilize every asset possible to support the Nigerian government to bring these girls back, to not wait a second longer. And we call on the government of Nigeria to bring these terrorists to justice. I'm going to use that word, terrorists.
It has been said that when you educate a woman, you educate a nation. Right. So today I come to stand in solidarity and to protest the denial of the rights of these young women, the future leaders of Nigeria, to an education. We stand today to protest the selling of these girls in the marketplace as commodities to be used for sexual purposes, and call these actions disgusting and immoral, human rights violations. We stand in solidarity with the international community to lend whatever support possible to the victims and to apply pressure, as we're doing here today, to the powers that be in Nigeria to deal justly with all of its citizens. We also stand united with our brothers and sisters in Nigeria who call upon the United Nations to impose sanctions upon those that have perpetrated these attacks. We believe that as the collective actions, the collective efforts of the world community came to bear on the racist apartheid regime in South Africa, coupled with the people of South Africa's resolve to be free more than 20 years ago, the diabolical terrorist acts being perpetrated against the Nigerian people in general, and boys too. Boys are being killed with all degree of regularity.
That's right.
This is to our attention because it was so many, and it was young girls that happened at one time. We had a meeting with some of these ministers that are standing here today, 20 of them, and got a quick, fast education in terms of what is going on on in Nigeria for the last 54 years. So just as the international community came together 20 years ago and said apartheid must go down, we believe that this groundswell that's happening all over this country can be the catalyst by which these girls, not just these girls, these boys, and all of the other stuff, the educational attacks, the political attacks, the economic attacks that are going on in that country can come to a screeching halt. We ask all of you to join us later this afternoon. All actions are purposeful.
That's right.
If we had 20 rallies, we ought to be at 20 rallies.
That's right.
Because the more rallies we do, believe it or not, people are counting numbers.
That's right.
And they're looking at who's showing up.
That's right.
And it's time for us to get off the stool of do nothing.
That's right.
Or the stool of do little. And figure I have shot my boat and I'm going to just go on home and now rest. You can't do that.
That's right.
You got to keep it moving.
Pastor Bashakin, please come. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, the City Council of New York. I stand here on behalf of my people. I am a native Nigerian, and I want to tell you first of all who Nigerians are and who we are not. Nigerians are hardworking people.
Yes, we are.
They are people who take care of their children.
Right.
Our fathers are wonderful people. They take care of us as their women, and they take care of our children. They are providers. They are not terrorists. These people who have done this act, I can tell you, if they are Nigerians, they are bastard Nigerians. They do not represent us. They are terrorists to the core. I stand as a poster child for Nigeria. As I stand here, I'm an admitted attorney of the state of New York. I have a master's in law. I'm a registered nurse. I have a PhD. That is what Nigerians are.
Right.
We are very hard working. And I am appalled that the bad people of Nigeria, as few as they are the ones that people know. They don't know people like us.
Right.
But we are here today to showcase who we are. And that is why I'm so happy that we have all the calibers, all the timbers, everything you can say you want in the city of New York. Yesterday we were with the senior senator from New York, Senator Chuck Schumer, as he came to Nigerian House to come and denounce this act of terrorism. We are very happy for what you are doing, but we want you to please intensify more your action. So please bring back our girls. Bring back our girls.
Bring back our girls.
Help us. Bring back our girls. We are mothers. We are so heartbroken. So heartbroken. Yesterday I will not celebrate Mother's Day because I know the mothers of these over 200 kids were not celebrating. How can I celebrate? I stood with them shoulder to shoulder in my prayers along with other Nigerians. Please help us. We are inviting you on May 23rd to the corner of our Nigerian house and the United Nations. As all Nigerians, all the lovers of Nigerians, all the families that have ever had anything to do with Nigeria, everyone that has had Nigerians as a worker, we want you to please come out and support us as we call on the United Nations to label these people for who they are. They are terrorists. We want the United Nations to recognize them as one. Who the heck is Boko Haram? How can you say in this day and age that it is evil for our children to go to school? And they are reading from written script. How did they learn it?
Exactly.
They are taking videos. Did they manufacture one? And that will show you their hypocrisy. They are terrorists. Please help us to denounce them. Kindly help us to bring back our girls.
And so we're committed to making sure that the full force and strength and power of the United States government is deployed in partnership with the government of Nigeria and all decent people around the world to make sure that we can accomplish this mission. We also want to make sure that we crush this terrorist organization.
That's right.
They've crossed a line that should never be crossed.
That's right.
And the consequences should be severe.
That's right. Absolutely.
We stand right now in the shadow of one of the great human tragedies of the last century, in fact, of humankind, when those two towers were brought down by a terrorist organization. And in the aftermath of that occurring, people from all over the world said, we are New Yorkers.
That's right.
Well, I'm pleased that in the aftermath of this terrible tragedy, folks from all over the world right now are saying, we are those Nigerian girls.
That's right.
And we've got to make sure that not only do we bring them back, but we make sure that they're coming back to an environment that is secure, that is warm, that is embracing, and that allows them to realize the tremendous talents that we know they have. The world should not rest until those Nigerian girls,
That's right.
our girls, are resting safely.
Can you hear me? No, I mean, can you really hear me? My soul's been crying out for weeks, but it continues to fall upon the deaf ears of my own home. Can you hear me, I ask? Men bet money on me as if I am a thing. Sell me as if I am less than them. I am a human, a woman, someone's daughter. And yet you only view the fact that I am not a man. Can you hear me? Abducted by misguided souls of the night, tally marks on dirty walls. I count the days hope has abandoned me. Dried blood of another stains the bottom of my fingernails. And the hot breath of a man 3 times my age violates my body. I scream. Don't fight it, he said. Fingertips burning down my spine. No one cares, he says. This is the price you pay for trying to be somebody when you are meant to be nothing. You are no one. Can you hear me? I once dreamt I was a queen, a female with power. I can do what men do. I was once told I could never go to school. Knowledge wasn't meant for my kind. And yet, I'm the top of my class. Can you hear me? Or will you just decide to look the other way as well? Ignore the fact that I am terrified. Terrified that this is my new truth. The society has woke me up. Can you hear me? Hear me as if I am your own child, and this is not the story of a girl you never met, but a girl you knew since birth. We are no different. And if your heart feels a type of way, then by all means, come save me. I am your daughter too, can you hear me? I've been taken by force and sold for less than what I am worth. Don't I deserve to live as well? And not become someone's slave? I have dreams. But faith has been torn from my heart the way I've been torn from my family. Can you hear me? Please say you hear me. If my cries happen to dance with the sun, my only desire is that it travels a distance, descending into the heart of someone who has the capability of hearing, who does not view me as anything less than a human being. If you are that someone, please bring my faith back. Save me, hold me, and say, I can hear you. Go ahead, go ahead! Education, liberation, bring back our girls. Education, liberation, bring back our girls. Women should have pen in hand regardless of where on this earth they stand, whether it be Africa, Asia, Europe, America. Yet when an education is pursued, in this case it might have been the glue holding together these girls' hopes and dreams. Coming from a poor village, their future seemed small, but instead this education brought them to terror, kidnapped by those who wish to see them only by the side of a man, complacent, unable to stand on their own 2 feet, treated not as a human but as lambs ripe for retail on the body market, a target for oppression. Let's teach them a lesson because they chose to defy the laws set out to so-called protect them. I'm scared this will mean that other females will fear their own birth-given right to feel the thirst for knowledge, for progression. We must demand that a stand be taken against this insidious plan. All lives, whether they be female or male, deserve to be worth more than a handful of coins for their skin, flesh, bone. Our bodies are our own. No government, man, or religion should have first-hand decision
body, my happiness. We are not merely physical beings, but rather have a soul, a brain, a story worth hearing. School is meant to be a safe haven. 267 is way too many. 1 is way too many. Protect the youth of our future, no matter what nationality. Bring our girls home.
Good.
Bring them home.